again, there's a lot of people who like anime. There's a lot of people who love conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I go there and I see someone in this kitted out costume.
Yeah, we have like in Florida. There's like we call it the con circuit. There was almost always a convention to go to. But before COVID, if you really wanted to hunt a con down over a weekend, you could probably find one. But there was a couple like heavy hitters. So the ones we went to were MegaCon. That was our first convention. And then we would go to MetroCon. So MegaCon's in Orlando. There's MetroCon in Tampa. ShadowCon, while that was alive, was in Tampa. That's kind of turned into LimmyCon now. And then we eventually started going to Holiday Matsuri, which is back in Orlando. So those were our main ones. Sorry?
What was the last one?
Holiday Matsuri.
Okay. I'm just trying to...
It's a very Christmas-themed one. So it's like an anime convention, but it's also like during Christmas time, or close to it. So a lot of people show up in very Christmas-styled, Christmas-styled themed. Thank you. Words hard. Tyllan.exe has stopped working. But they'll show up with like really creative Christmas versions. So I've done a Christmas tarot. I've wrapped this up in Christmas lights before, and I've strung Christmas lights through like the spiky hair. Yeah. And I had like little gold stars that like I stuck in the hair and stuff. It's cute. It's fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, I forgot where I was going with the con circuit.
You were saying there's always a circuit. There's always a con you can go to in Florida.
Oh, okay. Talking about the hell that was getting those armor suits ready.
Yes.
So right before, leading up to MegaCon, and spoiler alert, I'm a little bit of a procrastinator. It's a chronic problem I've had since school. So I'll kind of work on stuff.
Yeah.
Throughout the year, and then it'll be like, hey, it's like 2 weeks till the con, and like the Squidward bloodshot eyes open, and it's like, oh no, what is sleep? So I think it was like a year where like MegaCon was kind of early in the year, so it was still like freezing. So I was working in my dad's shed.
Yeah.
Completely made a mess of the place. I had 3 or 4 suits of armor I was working on at the time, because I was working on like the Keyblade armor for myself and my wife.
Yeah.
And then we were also doing Mandalorian cosplays at the time from Star Wars. So those are armor sets. So I was doing renovations for mine, and I think we were working on stuff for my wife's at the same time. So there were like pieces of 4 different armor suits just scattered around the shed. You had to play hopscotch to get anywhere, because like a lot of stuff was like in process of like drying from paint and needs to sit. And I was just like slapping it down somewhere and moving on.
Oh no.
I lost a lot of sleep.
Oh no.
That convention. Leading up to that convention. I don't recommend it, but it's just kind of a status quo for how I work on this kind of stuff, I guess.
Oh man.
So stuff will be going swingly until it's like, oh, by the way, you have like a day to finish this.
Okay. Oh my god.
And it's like 11 on the dial.
Why do I do this?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of why do I do this to myself.
Yeah. Oh, but okay, so on that topic of the struggle of getting to and preparing for conventions, what is your experience like when you're there? And then after that, we'll transition to like animes and stuff that you see while you're there, your personal favorites and stuff like that.
So what's the experience like?
Yeah, like as a con goer, again, I get in there. First thing I'm doing is like, thank God I'm not outside in that ridiculous line.
Yeah.
The second thing I'm doing is like,
especially down in Florida when you're like in makeup and armor and stuff.
Yeah, like you get in. Wait, okay, let's start at the door. Do cosplayers get privilege?
No.
Oh no.
In fact, we have to go through extra steps.
Really?
Yeah, because there's weapon check, which isn't always outside the door, but sometimes it is. There's always people are dumb, and there's always some kind of issue that happened last year that changes rules at the last second for the current year.
Oh no! Oh no!
So it's a lot of like anything that looks remotely like a rifle needs an orange tip.
Yeah.
Weapon props can't be too heavy, even if they're blunt.
That makes sense.
Which has come into a little bit of contention with some of my bigger stuff.
Yeah.
I've had to lie about what my props are made out of before to get them in the door. Because what was it? I think it was Holiday Matsuri. Or it was Holiday. 1 year they decided like you can't have like heavy wooden props. Like it can't be heavy and wood at the same time. And I'm like, that's all I make my stuff out of. That's my medium.
Okay.
So this one for Thancred, which it's shorter.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look very heavy the way I'm holding it. But it's dense. It is a thick boy.
Thick boy.
Yeah, so that's
wow, yeah.
So this is medium density fiberboard. It's a type of wood. It's what I make most of my weapon props out of. And it's got like layers of God, what's it called? Some kind of thermoplastic. Warbler, that's the words. It's got like layers of warbler on top for the detailing.
Okay.
And so when I asked what it is, I'm like, it's wrapped in a thermoplastic, and like as to the effect of what I said. I didn't necessarily talk about the interior, but I was like, the exterior is a thermoplastic because most of it is. And I got it.
It's
like it's pretty dense. I'm like, yeah, it's a dense boy, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, sure, go ahead, have fun.
Which I'm not proud of it, but I had a great time. So
yes,
but I understand though. I've had security snatch fake weapons out of my hand before.
Wow. What?
For a weapons check, I from a Mandalorian cosplay, I don't actually have the weapon handy. I'm not sure what happened to it.
You talking about the pistol looking thing?
Yeah, the pistol. Actually, I think you have a picture of it.
Let's see. I have a picture.
Sorry.
No, this is the Destiny one, yeah.
I'm actually using the same hand cannon there.
Okay.
But you can barely see it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. With the gray tip. So, Metrocon. It doesn't really. I don't think it matters. I don't think I need to be calling these contests.
Yeah.
To be fair, I understand it's a security guy doing his job, but I guess a new revolver had come out recently, like an IRL revolver that looked very identical to what I walked up with.
Oh, okay.
And he tried to whip it out of my hand. I'm like, "Fuck, excuse you, hold up." And it's like, he's like, "Oh, is this the new?" I'm like, "Bro, like you're holding it in your hand, feel it."
Yeah,
like if you've held a handgun. Yeah. To be fair, it was that one was a salvage project from an airsoft shotgun that got snapped in half.
Oh.
Yeah, someone fell on it, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, if I saw this bit off, then I could turn this into a pretty reasonable looking pistol. So
yeah,
a lot of the dressing was semi-authentic for a shotgun.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, hey.
So I understand, and I was flattered that it looks real realistic, but it's a fake. I need that back. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like, thank you for validating my good work. But it's definitely not real.
I've actually had security break a prop on me as I was walking in.
Why? What?
Well, they didn't do it on purpose.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't know what the hell she was expecting. So it was for Thancred, which for Heaven's Ward Thancred.
Yeah.
By the way, probably my most uncomfortable costume I've ever worn. Just by the way, it's hot.
Really? Oh,
it's got a lot of layers.
Yeah.
I have this much vision between the blindfold and his hair. So people are constantly bumping into me. I've got knives hanging off of me. That
we don't
like if
have it
someone
here.
bumps into me too hard, you might have it.
I have it in the other ones.
Oh, okay.
I'll show it later.
Anyway, so I've repaired this since.
Mm-hmm.
But when I built it, so from blade to like kind of in here is one piece, and then this was constructed separately, and I've got like a little bit of what you would call a tang of this going into this, but it's it's like a pencil sized pencil circumference thing, about like not even an inch long. I should have made it longer. That's on me.
Okay.
What's not on me is me handing security, her getting wide-eyed at it, doing this, and then flexing.
Like, it's a prop. It's a prop, lady.
Mm-hmm. She was convinced after that.
Well, it's not real.
And she started getting very defensive and like hardly apologizing. Well, I'm the captain, and this has never happened. Like, you're a rent-a-cop, first of all. And second of all, I don't know what prompted you to, like, even with a real blade, flexing, and like, I don't want to do it anymore because I've repaired this fairly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, at that point, it's just like all you had to do was apologize, and I would have been like, I understand, but that would have been it.
So I got in the door, enjoyed the AC for a minute, explained the situation to my wife and my friends that were there, turned around, walked back to the hotel through the Florida muggy heat, performed emergency surgery on it. I always keep a kid on me at the hotel room.
Remember that, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. If you make your props, if you understand how they work, keep some of it with you in your hotel room. In fact, on that note, what I usually like to do, there's a fun little culture that's been popping up right before COVID hit called hospitals at conventions.
That's actually a really good idea.
Good. They're little. They started off with like people with just kits on them, just walking around the con, saying like, if you have something broken, I will try to fix it. And then people end up getting their own rooms and booths and stuff like at conventions. It's so nice. Now we've made use of them a couple times. Actually. Oh. Okay, so yeah, I came back to that fan cred story.
Yeah.
Jury rigged it. Then somebody like immediately bumped into me, and it went like again. I'm like, God damn it! But there's a hospital like right there. I'm like, I just need like whatever instant high power super glue you have.
Yeah.
Just put it here, and I'll hold it. And nobody's holding this today.
Dang.
Yeah. So ever since, I have done my best to keep some super glue on me.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm walking around a convention, when I can afford to. Just because it's come in handy, or something. Like I'll watch something, I'll witness something fall off somebody. Like when you're a cosplayer and you notice other people's costumes, and it's great, but you get a deeper level of understanding of like what it takes.
Yeah.
And you also have like so much more of an eye for detail, where like someone else might miss that, like when their spikes is a little floppy when they walk around.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like tap on the shoulder. Hey, love what you got here. Is that supposed to move like that? Because I have some glue on me.
That's nice. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Most cosplayers are really chill. Really appreciative of like what you're doing and what your work is. For every prop I can afford to, I try to let people, like, if they're interested, like, oh, I love this thing, and oh, you did so good on the weapon. It's like, here, hold it, like, go for it.
Yeah.
It's also a welcome break for me because I make a lot of my stuff out of wood, and so it's kind of like a shoulder break for me, disguised as social pleasantry.
Yes.
And I always get a sadistic kick out of handing ends of the earth to somebody and watching them go, oh.
Yeah. This is like, oh, let me do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Oh man, that's dope. All right. Dang, man. So
there's a lot. I could talk for hours.
I can imagine. Like, it sounds like we started with like, oh, standing in line and trying to get in. It's just like,
oh, I completely derailed that. I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. It's fine. That's good, because like this is giving folks the insight. Again, I'm sure there's people who do cosplay and they're like, yep. And then there's folks like me who are like, I've never cosplayed, but I always wondered what it's like. Like, what are the things that happen? So that's good context.
If okay, so everyone has a little bit of experience of this of COVID. If you're not an idiot, so like you know that feeling of like getting to rip your mask off once you sit down in the car, and just like imagine that with like a piece of hair that's been glued to your scalp all day.
Ow.
Just getting the it's like shedding skin.
Oh no,
also,
man.
I would go on another tangent on ick, a cosplay ick real quick. So for armor, my Mandalorian armor, just as an example.
Yeah.
I cosplay in Florida. It's a black and dark red costume. It's hot, but there's a level of uncomfortability that you kind of acclimate to. Like you build up like an insulating layer of sweat. It's disgusting. I know. This is why cons smell.
Oof.
Shower when you change out your costume, please. But there's like an insulating layer of sweat that you just acclimate to.
Yes.
And you don't realize how uncomfortable you are until you start removing.
Yes.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
I think the closest I have to that is the time there's two instances I can only think of. ROTC, when I was younger, we had to go do like field exercises or something, and you're out there and you're like, you're just in the woods and you're there all day and you're constantly moving and it's like you don't realize that there's no sheen because you're just that dirty, but like there's dirt, sweat, and then your skin. And it's not until you stop and you try to clean yourself off that you start to feel the difference. And then the second one is doing anything in VR.
Yeah.
You take off
that's
the VR headset and you're like,
oh. Just like,
yeah. It's like I take a break. I'm like, oh, let me get something to drink. I go to put it back on. It like touches my face. I'm like,
yeah. No, that's exactly it. That little cushion on the inside of your face gasket. Like you don't realize how sweaty it is until you take it off and put it back on.
Yeah, you put it back on. You're like, oh, what? Oh, this is gross.
Hold on a moment. So.
Oh man.
Which is in a little bit of a disrepair right now.
There we go.
So for this thing,
nice.
which I would put on, but this is loose.
Uh-oh.
The inside of it, I've got some foam, so it stays where it needs to on my face.
Yeah, so it doesn't boggle around.
The cheeks and the forehead are the fucking worst to touch
Really?
after I take this off. Because that's what's pressed against my face.
Yeah.
If I'll put it back on, it's like...
It's like you first put it on, you just don't move. You're like, are you okay? It's like, yes.
I just need a moment to acclimate to be...
I'm readjusting to my suit. That's amazing. Holy crap. Oh, man. All right, well, okay, so speaking of, we touched on conventions, talked about going in and all that. What are there... So we'll transition this into animes that you see there, some of the ones you like, any trends you notice, any reoccurring anime characters.
Okay. There's we have a word for it. I can't remember the word, but there's whatever the current fandom is at the time, the fad cosplay, there it is. So when I started, I believe the fad cosplay, like way back, that first MegaCon ever, there was a lot of Naruto. There was Naruto everywhere.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Naruto, there was a lot of Bleach. And you will always find some of that. You will always find, Naruto especially. You'll always see something there. But Homestuck was the fad cosplay for a long time. To the point where it kind of became a problem for some people. Homestuck? You not familiar with Homestuck?
I am not.
There was some kind of, I think it was a webcomic. I don't know. Any Homestuckers out there, I apologize. I never took the dive.
I'm about to
but a lot of the characters have like like the red and orange horns, and like the dusky gray skin. And for the most part, wear a lot of casual clothes. There's exceptions, but for most of it, it's getting clothes that look similar, getting little horns that, like, as it became more popular, you could find for cheaper and cheaper, and completely deluging yourself in like gray makeup or like a gray skin suit or something. It's one of those fandoms that has a lot of the very excitable younger people that like get really into character really quickly.
Ooh.
Kingdom Hearts had some of that too, to be fair.
Okay.
One of my favorite oh shit stories at a convention is from Kingdom Hearts cosplay. I'll tell it in a minute, but a lot of these people didn't understand personal space. It's not just that fandom. Like, I'm not picking on the fandom. I'm just picking on the people I saw at conventions at the time.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Nothing against it, and a lot of the stuff that I saw was cool. But the problem is, with all this dusky gray makeup, not everyone was proficient enough with makeup that they knew to like seal it, so it didn't get everywhere. So like you get like but I don't know if you've heard the term glomping before. That was the popular word when I started, but glomping is like like basically a high velocity tackle of somebody. It's like a hug. Like a Homestalker would see or any cosplayer would see like, oh my god, that's a cosplay of a character I love and it's amazing. Poof, hug, run off. It's like a drive-by of affection. But you look down at your arm and it'd just be like a smear of gray makeup, and it's like, no! Like, especially if you're wearing white, it's, oh my god.
Oof. Okay.
I've never had it happen to me bad.
Yeah.
But that was a problem of its time.
So you got the Homestuck crew.
Yeah.
Is there another one that's Homestuck, Naruto, and
well, it depends on like what's popular at the time. So like Attack on Titan had a big run because it was a lot of uniforms.
Yeah.
So that's really easy to play with. Like if you get the base uniform, then you can cosplay almost any of the characters depending on what wig you're wearing.
Yeah.
I think Demon Slayer was kind of getting into the fad cosplay zone the last time I attended a convention.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's nothing wrong with being a fad cosplay. It's just what's popular at the time. That's not really hard to get into.
Of course. What about? Wait. Okay, hold on.
Sure.
When was this for the Demon Slayer? Because I missed that I missed that like whole scene of Demon Slayer. Like, when was that?
I'm terrible with dates. Stand by. When did I post this?
Was it late? Like,
I think it was 2019, December 2019.
Okay. Yeah, that's when I kind of got checked out from the anime scene because I've been too busy going around the metaverse and work. Gotta love it.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely December. Okay, so the series aired from April 6th to September 28th on 2019. So that little time gap. So
yeah.
I started noticing it in Holiday Matsuri. So like in April, people were getting into it and going, "Oh crap!" And by the time I attended another convention, those people had developed enough of an interest and time to make a bunch of cosplays of it. So I saw a bunch at Holiday Matsuri 2019.
Yeah. Okay.
It was great. Fantastic.
Oh man. Okay. Dang. And so like so what were your like favorite inspirations or anything like that you took away from it? Like, you have a particular character you enjoy the most, or a particular anime or game or anything that kind of fueled this? Like your cosplay in general?
Sorry. So the question was like, is there any particular influence that really kind of like took me off for cosplay?
Yes.
Okay. I would say honestly, Terra from Kingdom Hearts was a big one. Like, I always liked Squall, but like Terra was the first one I chose to cosplay like by myself. So I bit my cheek there. That like, you know, Squall and Renoa was really my wife's idea. which I loved. It's great. And I don't know if she or I suggested Birth by Sleep, but whoever did, I was totally into it. I identify with Tara for a lot of reasons. He's the kind of tragic idiot that I gravitate to in a lot of series.
Yeah.
He's just doing his best, okay? He's just trying his best, and he keeps on getting misled.
Trying.
Funny enough, to my knowledge, I actually have I had a friend commission a fan art of me and Tara. Some shenanigan I did. So, lightning run context here.
Yeah.
The convention we were at, I think it was another Holiday Matsuri story. So Tara, to those of you who don't know, he's got like the samurai like hakama pants, like the very big poofy pants.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's on underneath them, so I wore thigh highs underneath. And whenever people were like really into it, I'm like, hey, what do you think he wears under these? And before they answer, I'd like put my foot up on the table and just whoosh. And it says "bitch, I'm fabulous," and it's just me pulling up like.
That's amazing. You know, that's actually amazing.
From a friend, but it's probably one of the most cherished possessions that's not actually on the wall.
Oh my god, that's really good.
Another one for me is Ike from Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
Big swords.
And also Smash. That one is my favorite one to cosplay for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Whoa. Because with Ike in particular, you get two very different fandoms that approach you. And being in cosplay and having someone like approach you excitedly is always hilarious. Because if you're paying attention, like you see like the glance, the look, the double take, the recognition, the do I want to talk to this person, and then the hell yeah moment, and they stride up. Yeah. And so for the Fire Emblem fans, it's a lot more like interpersonal and like much more about Ike. Like, oh my god, like he's such a good character, he's so level-headed, it's so great. Oh my god, I loved when he did this. And it's like, yeah, you get to like share these moments.
Yeah.
And then you get the Smash players who like take one look and go, big dick Ike. It's a totally different energy, but I love the shit out of it. Like, hey, Ike, do you fight for your friends? Do you fight for your friends? It's like, yeah. But they get no sympathy from me. They're like, oh! It's just, it's a hype fest every time.
Oh, it's hilarious.
He's my favorite person to wear at a convention. I always look for any excuse to bring him to a convention.
Do you fight for your friends? You should make that to like a shirt.
I did actually.
Oh shit!
I'll show you once we're done.
Okay, that's pretty good.
But okay, so one of my favorite stories on that is I was at MegaCon, and there's like these two like middle school age kids.
Yeah.
Were there with their parents. And one of them sees me. And goes, oh, it's Ike! Oh! Like we got to take a picture, and I let him hold the sword, and he's like, ah! And his brother is sitting there looking at me like with an air of superiority, and I'm like, oh, okay, what's your story? Like, what's going on with you? And he's like, well, Roy's our boy. And I'm like, okay. And I like lean in, like pretending to whisper, but loud enough that the parents can hear me. And I'm like, well, Roy could be your boy, but Ike's gonna be your man. And I like did like a drop mic motion, and his brother did like the. And even the parents kind of like were snickering at that. Just solved the argument finally. Thank you.
The dad's probably just like, ooh. He like goes on the other side of the kid. He's just like, bird. Just like, roasted. He just like whispers.
Oh my god.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
But that's my favorite part of being in costume is just the interactions you get from people.
Yeah.
And just getting to meet people that are as hype about something as you are.
Yeah.
Like getting attention is nice, sure, and like getting like recognition for like the work you put. It's like, oh, did you buy that? Like, no, I made it. Which I have not made all of my props, but I do my best to make most of them.
Yeah.
And then like people asking for tips and stuff. which is always fun. Like, oh, what'd you make it out of? And I give the rundown, and it's like, if they're local, I often do my best. Like, if they're cool and they're local, to be fair, it's like, hey, I understand stranger danger and all that, but if you're interested, like, we can have a prop day.
Yeah.
And like we can work on something together. Like I don't mind helping. Like people are like, oh, do you do commissions? And I'm like, no, I don't have enough time to focus on my own stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've done commissions in the past, and it sucked up way too much time for how little I charged for it, which to be fair was not enough, but whatever.
Yeah.
Man. But I don't mind teaching people because it's another person that I like to have over for prop day because that motivates me.
Yeah.
To work on my stuff.
Teaching others helps you improve your skill, so.
Yeah.
And you like it, so that's great.